Hello everyone, onlydraven here again. Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. This is episode number 10. It's kind of odd thinking that I've been doing this for at least 10 weeks now. But I do appreciate everyone who tunes in every week and everyone who's been sending me feedback and letting me know what they think of the videos. And welcome to everybody who this may be your first one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, I'd like to recap a little bit. I had bariatric surgery just shy of 2 months ago. So this series is just kind of me going over the process, the things that I'm dealing with through the surgery, and then through the after effects, the diet, and then different tips and such I've come up with going through. So this week was a pretty good week. I know I say that most weeks, but it was a pretty good week, and we'll get into that in a minute. I would like to mention that for those of you who are aware, and who may not be aware, I'm doing a free bariatric cookbook giveaway. I hit 100 pounds lost a few weeks ago, and in honor of that, I ordered a brand new bariatric cookbook offline. I've got it in. 140 bariatric recipes specifically designed for folks who've had one of the different bariatric surgeries, and I'm giving it away completely free. If you're interested in participating in that, just getting your name in the hat for the drawing, we've only got about a little less, I believe, a little less than a week left, right at a week. So I'll have at the end of this video, there'll be a link to a video that explains how to get involved with that. There's also links to all that in my description of this video. So I'd love to have you participate. I've got some folks in there already, but I'd love to get some more in the names in the hat, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins this thing. So like I said, I'm handling shipping and handling, so none of it, no cost to you, just enter clicking like and share a couple times. So definitely check out that video to get your name in the hat for the drawing. Also had a really good week or two on Patreon. I have a Patreon account. For those of you who don't know what that is, Patreon is a website where you can go and support content creators such as myself, artists, things of that nature, through monthly donations. All donations are definitely appreciated. Even, like I said, the smallest donation level is $1, and then there's different levels above that that you can donate, and there's different perks and awards that you will receive for doing so. I have a couple to give out for the folks who have already become my patrons, and I actually had someone hit me this past month, or sorry, this past week. So I'm actually right at the point where I'm about ready to have my first goal, which was $20 a month in donations, which will allow me to actually get an official website. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to have I've already bought the domain, and it's www.onlydraven.com. So I'm going to be able to use that as a place to communicate with all of you folks. I can link my videos there, as well as have a place for you to put questions or suggestions, and just link to all my different social media. It's kind of a central hub for everything that I'm working on here, both with the bariatric surgery, recipes that I find, links to cookbooks, as well as the other things I work on, such I do gaming videos and such as well. And it's kind of two different crowds there that watch those different types of videos. Don't have a whole lot of carryover between the two, but definitely going to have kind of all-encompassing on the website. Once the patron donations all kind of kick in at the beginning of the month, so once that comes in, I've already started looking to set up the website. It's probably going to take at least a month or so to get everything up and running. I purchased my domain through a different site that I'm going to host the website through. So I actually have to transfer it over, and that requires like a 15-day waiting period and some stuff like that. So it's going to take a little bit to get everything on board, but I'm excited that I'm at that point where I can kind of announce my first goal was hit, and we can get that going. And I'll definitely share my website on here and try to get everybody over there once I get it up and running. So thank you so much for those of you who have become my patrons and are helping me reach those goals so that I can kind of give more back. All donations go 100% back into the videos and equipment and all that kind of stuff, and now the website. If you're interested in becoming a patron or seeing more about what Patreon is about, there is again going to be a link to my Patreon introduction video at the end of this video. It'll be in one of these two corners here. And there's also a link to my Patreon page in the description of this video as well. So please feel free to check that out, see if it might be something you're up for. And there's a lot of other awesome content creators out there. You may want to look around. Someone that you're a big fan of, other than myself, of course, may have a Patreon page, and it's a good way to kind of help them put out the art or music or videos or whatever it is they do. So definitely check it out. I was a member long before I had my own page, so definitely recommend that. All right, so without further ado then, I guess we'll jump into the weekly checkup. Hey, and welcome to my weekly check-in. So this is the kind of part of the video where I talk about how my week went and progress or lack of progress, however the case may be. I am excited to report that I had another successful week. I lost another 6 pounds this week since the last video last Wednesday. So that's going to put me down a total of 114 pounds. And I'm just right now at the 5 months and 5 day point since I started this whole process, since my first visit with my bariatric surgeon, first time I met him in person. So less than 6 months, and I'm already well over, at this point, over halfway to my goal weight. I know it's hard to tell because there hasn't been a whole lot of change here. I'm still a big guy, but you know, I can definitely see the difference. This past week, I dug out a bunch of old clothes. For years, you know, people give you clothes for birthdays and Christmas, and being a fat guy, a lot of times the clothes I get are too small. I don't want to say anything, or at the same time, I figure I'll hang on to them. Maybe I'll get skinny one day. Well, that's actually worked to my benefit, because going back through a lot of those clothes, I've actually been able to fit into a lot of the clothes that I stored sometimes for years, where a lot of them are still brand new and have tags on them. When I started this whole process, when I walked into that doctor's office the first time, I was wearing, in men's, 56 size pants, which is pretty huge. That's only 1 or 2 sizes shy of a Ringling Brothers tent at this fucking point. So I was wearing a big pair of pants. Now, at this point, just a month ago, right when I went back to work, I had bought a pair of 52s, and they were a little snug. At this point, I'm actually comfortably wearing 50s, and I can wear 48s, and they're just, like I said, the tiniest bit snug when I sit down. This is something I always like to point out to folks. You know, being a bigger person, my body experiences something that I call the water balloon effect, and you know, skinny people can have this to some degree as well. But the bigger you are, the more that this affects you. But if you've ever held a water balloon, you held it from the top. A water balloon will hang down. You know, the weight pulls it long and thin like that. But if you set that water balloon on a table, it then squishes and everything goes sideways. That's what happens to fat people. When I sit down, shit goes sideways. And so clothes that fit me comfortably standing up will be too tight sitting down, and they can even be uncomfortable. So sometimes I have to wear clothes that, well, they're comfortable when I'm sitting down, because I sit down for a living, I have a desk job. But that means when I'm standing up, my clothes look a little loose, or they're a little baggy, and I can make sure my belt's cinched up, so I'm not giving anybody a show trying to walk around. For those of you interested in that kind of show, let me know. I have a whole other video series. I'm just kidding. Maybe. But, yeah, so the switching into the clothes, like I said, I can wear the 48s totally comfortable standing up, but they're a little bit too tight to sit down. But that's still awesome. I mean, that's a lot of progress. I was wearing 4X shirts when I started the whole process, and they were snug. I'm now comfortably wearing 3Xs. I might even be able to wear 2Xs, but they'd be a bit tight, and I like my shirts to be kind of loose on me. Like this one's really loose on me because it's still a 4X. I'm still wearing some of them just because, you know, I like the pictures or whatever. But I'm definitely making progress in size-wise. I have been taking pictures of myself every month or 2 months since I started, both front and profile, in just a pair of jogging shorts, so no shirt on or anything. And there's definitely quite a bit of progress that you can see from the first photos to the most recent ones. I'm actually going to do another one here this weekend. I have my wife take the photos because my camera, well, it's widescreen, which is required when you look like this, but still, make it where I'm standing in the same place. Makes it easier to compare. I'm not going to share any of those in this video. I'm kind of waiting on that. Eventually, I'd like to post them up in a video showing progress every month or two with dates of when the photos are coming, so you can see. Right now, still a little uncomfortable, of course, walking around with no shirt on, being a big dude. But, you know, as I continue to progress, I think maybe at the 1 year mark, you know, or if for some reason I was to hit my goal weight before that, which I would be surprised. But if I, at the 1 year mark, I think I may make a video which literally shows the transition. I'll probably have at least 10, 12 photos at that point showing the difference. So there's definitely a physical difference I can see. People are noticing it. I'm having people mention to me like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Wow, you look a lot smaller. And that's a great feeling, you know. I still have a long way to go. I'm still working on it, persevering, making sure I stick to the diet. About the diet itself, I'm still on phase 3, and I will be till July. Phase 3 being, I can still eat, like I said, all white meats. I can have fish. I can have all the seafoods, shrimp and all that stuff. The only red meat I can have right now is ground beef. I'll be able to introduce all the other red meats once I hit the phase 4. But I'm not as strict in my documentation at this point, like when I'm recording my meals throughout the day. At the beginning of the day, I kind of look over and I'm like, okay, this is what this nutritional value is on this. Okay, if I eat these things today, I'll be in my goals. So I don't have to record it. I kind of pre-plan out my meals for the day. Tonight, I'm going to be making pork chops for my family with mashed cauliflower. That's going to be our dinner. I'm at the point where I can eat about 3 ounces, although it's hard for me to get all 3 ounces down in most meals. But pork chops will be the first time I had those, so I'm kind of looking forward to eating something like that. I used to enjoy them a lot beforehand, even though I'll eat less now. The mashed cauliflower is pretty good. I've talked about it before. I get the Green Giant brand. It's pre-made. I get the bacon cheddar ones. And they're really good. They kind of fulfill that mashed potato need. So if you haven't tried those yet, highly recommend the Green Giant ones. I also have the broccoli and cheese Green Giant tots. So like tater tots, but it's broccoli and cheese. We may throw some of those in tonight and try those as well and let you know. Now, if you follow my Facebook page, which is onlydraven on Facebook, you may have seen that this past weekend I cooked my first bariatric recipe. It was actually mini Portobello mushroom pizzas. And I took a picture of it, and I'll put it right here, or here. It's going to be one of these corners. Just a rough picture I took. It's basically a Portobello mushroom, 3 cheeses, pizza sauce, some oregano, some garlic powder. Get it right, garlic powder. Then I put some turkey pepperoni and some bacon bits on top. And this is definitely, it's a bariatric recipe, very low carb. It was very delicious. It really had that pizza taste, something I miss, because pizza is my favorite food. And it was awesome to have that in there. The mushrooms settled a little heavy on my stomach, so I had a hard time finishing mine. But I mean, it was a good size. It's a fat-ass Portobello mushroom. I made them for my wife and mother-in-law as well. For them, I used white sauce, pizza sauce, because neither of them really like traditional pizza sauce. Fucking heathens. But it was really, really good. And I made myself 2, and I had one 2 days in a row. And so I was able to eat that and still maintaining all of my goals, and at the same time, still losing 6 pounds in 1 week. So there's really tasty food out there that you still get to have. If you're early in the process or you're thinking about having the surgery, I know really when you're first all liquids or purees, it seems like, wow, flavor's gone. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of really yummy stuff you're going to get to eat the rest of your life. There's still going to be some limitations. There'll be some things that you may not quite really have the way you used to, but there's a lot of great tasting food out there. And that tasted like pizza to me. It really had a pizza flavor, and so I enjoyed that. This weekend, I'm going to kind of do the recipe again, but with a little bit different. Instead of using a portobello mushroom, we're going to use bell peppers. I got some green and red bell peppers we're going to cut in half. I have found a recipe for that, which they're very much alike, and like I said, I've tweaked them a little bit myself, just from the original recipes, and I found my recipes on Pinterest. If you're looking for bariatric recipes, just search bariatric recipes on Pinterest. There's hundreds of them in there, and they're really cool, very easy to do. When I make them this Saturday, I believe, I'm going to film this one. So I'm going to put out my first little mini cooking video. It's first one, so I'm sure it'll be rough, but kind of showing you the steps and the full recipe. I'll also include the recipe to the Portobello mushroom pizza that I made. I'll include that at the end of this video, at the end of the credits. So if you'd like that recipe, just hang out at the end of the video till the credits are over, and I'll have that recipe on there as well. If I can, I'll see if I can put a link in the description of this video to the actual recipe that I based it on, I found on Pinterest. Like I said, I added the turkey bacon and a couple other things, but it all still stayed in range. So if you're interested in seeing some more recipes like that, definitely watch for my cooking video I'm going to put out. I'm hoping to do more of those, and definitely more extravagant and bigger things. This weekend I also made for the week for meals. I took some skinless chicken, boneless skinless chicken. I bought I think it's the Nature's Own, I believe is the brand, and it's the Kroger brand, I think. And for like $10, you get like a box with like a huge bag of basically chicken tenders. And I shake and bake those bitches. I just got some chicken shake and bake, pop those in, and each one weighs about 1.5 ounces. So I could usually get in 2 or 1.5, depending on, sometimes they settle a little heavier. But they were really good too. I did that, dipped in a little sour cream since I can't have mustard now, light sour cream. Sprinkle a little light shredded cheese on top. That was really tasty. I think I took a picture of that too. If so, I'll stick it in one of these corners here. But it was really good. Just some chicken tenders. It was yummy having that again. I'm sure there's a lot of different sauces out there for those of you who like that. Maybe some mild sauces or some type of barbecue sauces. So you make some sugar-free ones. So feel free to chicken tenders. Simple, easy to make, and pretty tasty. So like I said, this weekend, stay tuned for that video. But it's been a good week. Like I said, I'm down 114 pounds. It currently puts me at, when I hopped on today, it was at 317. So I am only 17 pounds away from being under 300, and it has been a long time since I've been under 300. So I will be very excited to announce that when it happens. Probably the rate I'm going, 3-4 weeks out, maybe another month, but that's going to be awesome. So stay with me so you can watch that too. Alright, so not much else to kind of go over this week. It's probably going to be a little shorter than normal video. The other thing, I've been continuing going to the gym. Getting to the gym has been a bit hard with my work schedule. I'm looking here in the near future to probably try to switch from a 10-hour shift back to an 8-hour shift once the opportunity comes up at my work. That way I have time to go to work. I can still have time to go to the gym and then come home and spend some time with my family, which if I do both, if I go to the gym on a work day, it gets a little hard to do that. I don't get to see them too much. So I'm trying to mainly go to the gym on my days off. I'll be able to increase that more if I can get to an 8-hour shift. So that may be a little while till that opportunity comes up, but I'll definitely jump on it when it does. That won't affect my video schedule, though. I'll still keep putting these out every week, and so I'm looking to start increasing more. I'm also looking into, I have a few people that I know who have also had some of the different bariatric surgeries. So I'm talking to a few people about maybe getting some of them together and just kind of having like a group conversation, like a podcast about that. If that's something you might be interested in, let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see, or if we do that, I'll probably throw out asking for questions you'd like to ask the group. And like I said, I'm going to try to get people from that have had the different surgeries. I know I have a couple people that had the DS, such as myself, or I know some people have had the sleeve. So I'm going to try and get a few different surgery patients in here, and then see if we can just kind of have maybe a 30-minute to an hour podcast group conversation, just answering questions and talking about how it affected each of us in positively and negatively. So definitely stay tuned for that. It may be a little bit before I can get that put together, arranging everybody's schedules, but hoping to be able to put that out sometime in the next month or so, maybe if I can get everybody to line up correctly. But like I said, if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see if that's something people would like to see. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, if you're interested in winning a free cookbook, this is the one I'm giving away. It's Eating Well After Weight Loss Surgery. It's 140 delicious low-fat, high-protein recipes to enjoy in the weeks, months, and years after surgery. And it's specifically designed for all the patients that have had the different surgeries, from the sleeve to the bypass all the way up to the DS. So completely free. Just check out the video at the end of this comment. There'll be a link to that, and you can get your name in the hat to win that, and I'll ship that out to you. I believe the announced the contest is going to end, I want to say it was... Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. The date that the contest is going to end is... Okay, so, yeah, I put it down here. So make sure that you have followed the steps by that point to get your name in the hat, and we'll do a drawing. For those of you who are on my patrons, my Patreon account, as I mentioned before, you get your name in the hat 2 free times just for being one of my patrons. A special thank you for those of you who are participating in that. Again, for more information about Patreon, description of this video. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions about weight loss surgery, about the diet, about where I find the food, about my exercise program that my surgeons put me on, or just questions in general, feel free to put them in the comments of this video, or put them on my Facebook page. onlydraven is the name there as well. Links to all my social media are in the description of this video. And I'd love to get some comments and hear some feedback. Definitely get some interaction so I can kind of try to help out, because that's why I like to do this. I'm trying to give out information, maybe a little more information than I got beforehand, or answer some of the questions that I didn't realize I had until after the surgery had already happened. So happy to share any information that I can. If there's something I don't know, I'll be happy to look it up for you. So thanks again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I'll have another one of these out Wednesday, and keep an eye out for this weekend. It's my birthday, actually, this weekend. Friday, we're going to go out to see the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie that's coming out. And then as a special treat, even though I really can't go eat out much, I'm going to have the one thing I do eat out. I'm going to get myself a chicken soft taco and scrape it out of the tortilla. That's going to be my dinner that night. We're going to bring it home and pick up something for my wife and mother-in-law and just kind of enjoy that for the birthday. And then Saturday's the day I'm going to make the bell pepper pizza. So keep an eye out for the video. Hopefully it should be Saturday. I'll put that little cooking video out as well. So awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.